The Temple of Set is one of the most controversial and enigmatic occult organizations of the modern era. Founded in 1975 by Michael A. Aquino, a former high-ranking member of the Church of Satan, the Temple of Set emerged as a schismatic organization, rejecting aspects of Anton LaVey's teachings and embracing a more esoteric and philosophical approach to Satanism. Unlike the Church of Satan, which is largely atheistic in nature, the Temple of Set adheres to a belief in metaphysical reality and the existence of an actual deity, Set, the ancient Egyptian god associated with darkness, chaos, and isolation. The Temple of Set's belief system, practices, and organizational structure make it one of the most distinct and complex occult groups in the world. The foundation of the Temple of Set was rooted in Aquino's dissatisfaction with the Church of Satan. He and several other members believed that Anton LaVey had commercialized Satanism and had turned it into a self-serving materialistic movement that lacked deeper spiritual insight. Aquino claimed to have had a mystical experience in which Set himself revealed a new path of enlightenment. This revelation led to the creation of the Temple of Set, which positioned itself as a genuine religious order dedicated to the ancient principles of self-deification, personal empowerment, and the pursuit of knowledge beyond the limitations of conventional belief systems. The temple presents itself as an initiatory school of higher wisdom, where members undergo rigorous training in occult disciplines to refine their intellect and spiritual essence. The core philosophy of the Temple of Set is based on what is known as Setianism. This doctrine emphasizes the individual as a divine being, capable of achieving godhood through self-transformation and self-directed will. Unlike traditional religious paths that promote submission to a higher power, Setianism encourages adherents to embrace their own divinity and cultivate what is referred to as Zaper, an ancient Egyptian word meaning to become. Zaper is the core principle of Setianism, representing the continual process of self-evolution and transcendence. In this sense, Setians view themselves as seekers of hidden knowledge, striving to awaken and refine their higher consciousness in ways that set them apart from the rest of humanity. In contrast to mainstream Satanism, which is largely rooted in atheism and psychological symbolism, the Temple of Set embraces a belief in an actual metaphysical entity. Set is considered not merely a symbol, but a real divine force that represents isolation, individuality, and the pursuit of wisdom. Within ancient Egyptian mythology, Set was a complex deity associated with both destruction and protection, often depicted as an adversary to Osiris and Horus. The Temple of Set reinterprets this figure as a patron of self-deification and intellectual sovereignty, offering a pathway to enlightenment through personal mastery. The belief in Set as a guiding force allows members to explore spiritual experiences beyond the material realm, engaging in advanced metaphysical practices designed to expand their consciousness. Ritual and magic play a significant role in the Temple of Set's practices. Unlike the Church of Satan, which often employs theatrical rituals for psychological effect, the Temple of Set engages in what is known as greater black magic, a highly individualized and introspective form of magic intended to transform reality through willpower and focused intent. This form of magic is not limited to mere ritualistic displays, but is deeply connected to the practitioner's inner growth. Members practice meditation, astral projection, and invocation to achieve higher states of awareness. Rituals are often performed in solitude, allowing the individual to connect with their own divine essence and align with the power of Set. The temple also conducts initiatory rites, which serve as milestones in a member's spiritual development, marking their progress in understanding and mastering occult knowledge. The Temple of Set is structured as a hierarchical organization, with initiatory levels that reflect a member's progress in spiritual development. The entry-level degree is known as the Setian First Degree, where individuals are introduced to the foundational teachings of the temple. As they deepen their understanding, they may advance to the adept 2 degrees and eventually to the priesthood 3 degrees, where they are granted the authority to teach and guide others. Higher levels, such as the Magister 4th degree and Ipsissimus 5th degree, are reserved for those who have achieved profound mastery of Setian philosophy and occult knowledge. This structured approach ensures that only the most dedicated individuals progress through the ranks, fostering a serious commitment to personal and spiritual growth. The influence of the Temple of Set extends beyond the occult community, as its teachings have sparked debates in religious, philosophical, and psychological circles. Some critics view the organization as a dangerous cult that promotes elitism and moral relativism, while others see it as an intellectual and philosophical movement that challenges conventional religious paradigms. The temple's emphasis on self-deification and the rejection of traditional moral frameworks have led to accusations of nihilism, though its adherents argue that their beliefs encourage personal responsibility and ethical self-determination. The temple has also been the subject of various conspiracy theories, some of which link it to governmental and military influence due to Aquino's background in psychological warfare and his service in the U.S. Army. However, these claims remain speculative and unproven. The Temple of Set's relationship with mainstream society remains complex. Unlike many religious organizations that seek public recognition and mass appeal, the temple maintains a low profile, focusing primarily on its internal community of seekers. Members are often discouraged from proselytizing, as Setianism is considered a path that must be discovered through personal calling rather than external recruitment. This selective approach has contributed to the temple's mystique, making it one of the most exclusive and secretive occult societies in the modern world. Despite its secrecy, the temple has produced a wealth of written materials, including books, essays, and treatises on magic, philosophy, and metaphysics, allowing outsiders to gain insight into its esoteric doctrines. One of the most controversial aspects of the Temple of Set is its stance on morality and ethics. Unlike conventional religious traditions that provide clear moral guidelines, the temple advocates for a more fluid and individualized ethical system. Setians are encouraged to develop their own moral compass based on reason, personal experience, and self-exploration. This relativistic approach to morality has drawn criticism from those who argue that it fosters a sense of elitism and detachment from societal norms. However, adherents counter that their philosophy promotes a higher level of ethical consciousness in which individuals take full responsibility for their actions and decisions, rather than relying on external authorities to dictate right and wrong. Despite its relatively small size, the Temple of Set has had a lasting impact on contemporary occultism. It has influenced various esoteric traditions and inspired individuals seeking a path of intellectual and spiritual autonomy. Its emphasis on self-evolution, magic, and the pursuit of hidden knowledge continues to attract those who feel drawn to its principles. As the modern world grapples with questions of spirituality, identity, and personal power, the teachings of the Temple of Set remain relevant to those who seek a path beyond conventional religious and philosophical constraints. In conclusion, the Temple of Set stands as a unique and deeply complex organization within the realm of modern occultism. Its emphasis on self-deification, metaphysical exploration, and intellectual sovereignty sets it apart from other religious and spiritual traditions. While it remains controversial and often misunderstood, its philosophy continues to challenge and inspire those who seek a path of personal transformation. Whether viewed as a radical spiritual movement or a sophisticated school of esoteric thought, the Temple of Set undeniably represents one of the most intriguing and enigmatic expressions of modern satanic and occult belief systems.